Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings be upon you all. As a Palestinian youth, I have been personally touched by the unfolding genocide in Gaza. My relatives, the family of my aunt, had their apartment building bombed by the Israeli occupation forces, during which the entire structure collapsed, killing everybody, including children, instantly. The ongoing brutality has seen the death of 4,506 children, with an additional estimated 1,500 under the rubble, all of whose lives have been cut short, robbing them of their futures. According to the humanitarian NGO Save the Children, the past 3 weeks has seen more deaths of children in Gaza than the annual total of children killed in annual conflict zones across the world since 2019. Furthermore, the education system has collapsed, as Israel has deliberately targeted 219 educational institutions, according to the United Nations, with an estimated 717,000 civilians seeking refuge in these buildings. Despite this, Israel has bombed schools in the Al-Burej, Al-Maghazi, and Jabalia refugee camp, killing at least 65 Palestinians. Overcrowding has become rampant as some schools shelter up to 21,000, 10 to 12 times greater than their structural capacity. This has led to an overcrowding rate of 270% at UNRWA facilities. In addition to the destruction of educational institutions, the healthcare system is in shambles, as the restriction of fuel and medicine has effectively crippled hospitals' ability to treat the wounded. The actual death toll in Gaza is said to be much higher than what is actually reported, as corpses must be first brought to a healthcare facility, which are in disarray, overflowing with 122,000 civilians seeking shelter, in addition to the continuous surges of the critically injured. The Al-Ahli hospital bombing is a prime example of Israel's deliberate targeting of civilian infrastructure, as it claimed the lives of 800. In the south of Gaza, where 9 hospitals remain occupational, are 50,000 pregnant women, of which 180 are giving birth every day. As a result of Israel's deliberate and indiscriminate bombing of healthcare facilities, 2/3 of hospitals in Gaza have been forced to shut down. This includes the only 2 hospitals specialized in treating cancers and blood disorders. Even in death, the people of Gaza are stripped of their dignity, laid to rot in piles upon piles, as the dead grow with every step and blink we take. Western media has largely been complicit in Israel's war crimes by using passive language to describe the slaughter of Palestinians, in addition to remaining obsessed with asking the same questions of whether we condemn Hamas, a deliberate method used to shield Israel from taking accountability for the crimes against humanity it has committed, whilst wholly ignoring the genocide of Palestinians. Furthermore, Israel has murdered 44 Palestinian journalists, as it purposefully seeks to suppress the only source of accurate and honest reporting. They have also resorted to using propaganda and misleading claims, such as the infamous 40 beheaded babies, which were said to be killed by Hamas. However, multiple news agencies have determined that these claims are false, and the Israeli government itself cannot confirm the figure. It is also important to clarify that referring to the murder of Palestinians as a war is a false narrative, because a war insinuates that both parties, Hamas and Israel, are on equal footing, and this is absolutely untrue. Israel is the largest recipient of military aid in the world, receiving $124 billion since the Second World War by the United States alone. This year, Israel will receive an additional $14.5 billion military aid package from the United States. Canada has sold $96 million worth of military equipment to Israel in the past 5 years alone, with many Canadian financial institutions funding the slaughter of Palestinian civilians. Scotiabank has invested $500 million in the stock of Elbit Systems, an Israeli defense manufacturer that supplies its army with weapons. RBC has investments worth $57 million in Palantir, an Israeli technology company whose artificial intelligence is used to surveil Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. With that being said, we cannot stand idly by as the Palestinian people plead for help. We have a moral responsibility as Canadians to use our privilege and condemn injustice wherever and whenever it occurs. We demand that the Canadian government issue a statement calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza to stop the loss of lives on both sides. Despite this, a ceasefire is no longer enough, as world leaders and corporations continue being complacent in favor of Israel's genocide of Palestinians. It's time we boycott all businesses that profit from the murder of innocent civilians. Together, we are powerful, and our voices are too loud to ignore. We demand that Palestinians be liberated from living under Israeli apartheid and the devastating and suffocating blockade on Gaza, which has been ongoing for the past 16 years and counting. We all deserve to be afforded the same level and respect of empathy, regardless of whether you're Christian, Muslim, or Jewish. We do not condone any form of Islamophobia and anti-Semitism, as it is unacceptable and harmful to our community. However, we must also acknowledge and accept that there is always an oppressor and an oppressed, with the Palestinian people having been dehumanized and dispossessed of their lands and identity for the past 75 years and counting. Thank you.